I get a lot of questions from people who have severely damaged hair, so I'm going to talk about things that helped me out whenever my hair was at its absolute worst. My hair was in horrible condition at one point, to where every time I would run a brush through it, it was breaking off. A lot of hair was breaking off and it felt horrible and spongy whenever it was wet. I was dyeing my hair constantly, lightening it all the time, so it was extremely weak. So if your hair gets to the point that it feels like overcooked ramen whenever it's wet, just adding moisture isn't going to be enough. You also need to put some strength back into your hair. One thing that helped me out a great deal was using a protein treatment. I used Nexxus Emergencee, and Sally's Beauty Supply also has a few different protein treatments that are very affordable, and the protein really helps add strength back into your hair. But it's really important to remember that whenever you do a protein treatment that you use a really rich moisturizing conditioner afterwards, because if you were just to use the protein treatment and rinse it out and style your hair as usual, your hair would feel really dry and hard and brittle. So it's really important that after doing the protein treatment, use some sort of deep conditioner and leave it in your hair for around 15 minutes or so. Another thing that's really important, a lot of conditioners that are labeled smoothing or anti-frizz contain silicones, and so do a lot of hair products. The silicones take out the frizz in your hair and leave your hair feeling smoother, but the problem with silicones is after a while it eventually causes buildup in your hair to the point that your hair can't absorb anything. So if you are using something that contains silicones on a regular basis, it's really important to use a clarifying shampoo every once in a while. I would say about 2 or 3 times a month is good enough, because clarifying shampoos can be a bit harsh, but you need to remember to use one every once in a while to get rid of that buildup in your hair, because again, you don't want your hair so full of buildup to the point that it can't absorb anything, it's feeling really heavy and limp. Like how sometimes you start using a new conditioner and your hair feels really smooth and silky the first week or two, but then after that your hair starts looking limp and flat and lifeless. It's because of buildup. I know this is really obvious, but lay off the heat styling whenever possible. I've always curled my hair on a regular basis several times a week, so I traded the curling iron for velvet covered hot rollers, which would still be considered heat styling obviously, but I can comfortably hold a hot roller in my hand at its hottest, but obviously can't do the same with a curling iron. Of course, it would be ideal to cut off all the damaged hair and start fresh and just grow your hair back out, but realistically that's not something a lot of people are going to be willing to do, especially those who have several inches of damaged hair. Me, for example, there was no way in hell I was going to cut off like 8 inches of my hair at one time, so I trimmed off around 2 inches every couple of months until my hair eventually grew back out, and I really babied my hair, was very gentle on it. One thing I made a habit of and still don't do now, I never detangle my hair when it's wet. I wait until it's completely dry to detangle it, because your hair is more fragile whenever it's wet, so you don't want any extra breakage. I had to mention this because it's something I read constantly and it's absolutely not true. If you have over bleached hair, dyeing it back to a dark color isn't going to make your hair healthy again. It will make your hair look better and have more shine to it, so it'll look healthier, but it's actually not making it any healthier. I read that constantly and it's just not true. So I did dye my hair back to a dark brown color and stopped lightening it. My hair looked a lot better right away, right after dyeing it, but it was by no means healthy again. So to sum it up, what helped me out the most was definitely the protein treatment. It stopped the breakage and helped my hair become more manageable again. And try not to wash your hair every day if you can get around it, if you don't sweat a lot or anything like that. Try not to wash your hair every single day. I wash my hair every other day. So if you use a conditioner that contains silicones or hair products that contain silicones, make sure you use a clarifying shampoo every once in a while to get rid of all that buildup. Nothing is going to replace being patient though, just babying your hair until it eventually grows back out, and cut off however much of the damaged hair you're willing to lose.